what's happening with the real estate in Ajijic. Stay tuned and I'm going to share what I found out.
Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Lori, one of the things that I've been having a lot of requests is they want to know about the real estate market down here. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it going sideways? What's happening down here?
Well, why don't you show them?
That's a good idea. I'll show you guys what information I have got together to present to you. And also in another video that we'll produce is another topic that people want to know. They want to know about the rentals. And I'll make a special video for you that are asking for that. And also, I think, Lori, we never do this. Why don't we ask them to subscribe now?
Yeah, why don't you subscribe now to our channel? If you want to know something like that, subscribe, you will get it, and we will make a video for you.
Yeah, make a comment, and we like your suggestions, and we'll make a video for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lori, you don't have to hang out here. I'm going to be talking about real estate, and I know you would rather do some other things.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so see you next video.
Well, in this video, we're going to talk about the real estate down here in Lake Chapala area, the Ajijic area, and along the about a 15-mile range along the north shore of Lake Chapala. So what I've done this week, I was able to talk to 3 real estate agents to get an idea of what their input is on how they see the market and how they see that it's going to affect this part of Mexico. So I wanted to get a rounding of experiences, so I figured 3 real estate agents, I could talk to them. I'm very grateful to them because they were very honest and very forthright in telling me what they saw. So the thing that I want to say, it's their opinion, and we have no real actual facts down here, except that everything is closed. They have no listings. The offices are closed. Usually what happens is in the real estate offices, once a week they have a tour where they'll take people around to look at real estate. None of that is happening here, of course, because all the offices are closed. So they're not running those weekly tours of showing people the real estate. There's nobody coming in to look at real estate. So this is one of their main concerns that they have here. The real estate agents were talking about that they really don't know what the future has. One of them talked about that they were saying they're seeing this happening about 6 months time frame. Another one said 6 months to a year time frame. And then the third one was a little more pessimistic, or if we want to say that, and he was talking about possibly up to 2 years of it getting back to what they were saying is the new normal. They said that it's not going to be the same as it was before. A lot of the constructions, also the real estate agents were saying, is that it's slowed down. The new constructions have slowed down. Everybody wants to believe and hear what they want to hear. Some people want to hear, oh, in 1 week, in 2 weeks, it's all going to go back to normal. The bars are going to open. We can all drink together. The restaurants are going to open. We can all eat together. We're going to be able to go to Lake Chapala Society. We're going to be able to participate in all the activities. We're going to be able to go to the plaza and meet all of our friends and dance and, hug and just have all of that. That's what they want to believe. Then there's the other school of thought, and I'm on the other school of thought, which is I don't think it's going to just happen like that. I think it's going to be a slow process over 6 months to a year. And even then, it's going to be a new normal. And so I'm a little more cautious on my attitude because, again, remember, I'm not talking about what my wish list is. I'm not making up a hypothetical wish list. I'm seeing it from the streets here. The developers are really a little nervous now with the virus and how it's impacting this area here. Now down here, you can get these free publications, and they are developed for advertisements for real estate agents and telling you what real estate is selling for down here. And what I've noticed here, looking at this real estate section back here, is that the higher end homes are what they're advertising. Here's one at $600,000. Another one down here at $575,000. Over here, $750,000. So what's happening is that the lower end homes down here, they're not in here. This publication is usually about twice to 3 times the size, but because there isn't any action in the real estate market, of course, none of the real estate agents are advertising. Why should they? Because everything is on a downturn. And that's one of the concerns that the agents have talked about. But the real estate agents could not give me an actual dollar amount. It's too early for them to be able to predict dollars and cents on what it's going to cost. So it hasn't been running long enough for people to maybe get fearful about selling their homes. One of the concerns that one of the real estate agents thought is that maybe the Snowbirds won't be coming down. And so because of that, then maybe around December, January, then they may consider selling their house at that time. Now the Snowbirds are waiting to see if they can come back to their homes and if they need to sell it. Some of the scenarios that we talked about is that possibly somebody that's a snowbird and he's or she is, let's say, in their 80s or 90s, and they've been coming down for years, they may not feel comfortable coming back down again. So at that point, they'll want to sell their home. So maybe then they'll get some more listings that way. Other scenarios that one of them talked about is that they were saying that in 2019, the people that were buying real estate were the Americans because they had the extra money. The Canadians weren't really buying much, nor were the Europeans. And so 2019 was a year for the Americans to buy. Well, now everything is closed down. One of the real estate agents also reminded us that because up north and everywhere in the world, this is not a recession, it is a depression. We are in a worldwide depression. As you know, people are out of work. They are struggling to make their ends meet in their own country. So to have that extra money to come down, as they did before in 2019, the real estate agents say, I don't see that happening because those people that own their own business, they may not be able to run their business. Maybe they have a business that they can't open up. And so they don't have the extra money. In fact, they're holding on to surviving themselves by saving every bit of money they can to take care of their own needs. And the agents are very cautious about predicting what's going to happen with them. So one of the other things that's, somebody told me this about 10 years ago, they said that one of the things you don't want to do, you don't want to buy an investment property in an area that needs to have people who are either tourists or maybe they're expats, and to buy a house in that area and you're relying on that home to live in maybe part-time and then rent it out the other part-time. Because in these areas that are like a resort area, or they are the first ones that are vulnerable. Planes are not flying in. There's a lot of downturn. So one would not want to invest in an area like that. You want to invest in an area where it's more stable, where the people are living there all the time. Now remember, this is a retirement area here. The people are 65 years of age and older. And so a lot of them are reluctant of wanting to come down here and either relocate or to come back to their own homes, and they maybe have decided that this is the time to sell their home. Again, we don't know. It's a little too early in that to be able to predict what's going to happen there. But, you know, I had a couple that I talked to about a year now, and they came down in their 50s. Both of them were around 50, 55 years old. They were going to bring their life savings down here, and they wanted to buy 4 rental properties. And you have to remember, to buy any home or anything down here, you have to pay cash for it. So they were willing to buy 4 rental properties, pay cash for it, and they want to turn it into an Airbnb. And so I told them, I says, I wouldn't recommend that because this is a different country. The laws are different. The government's different. There's a lot of factors that you don't know about. In past, here in Mexico, we've had things that where they've actually closed down airports, they've closed down resorts. And so this isn't the first time this has happened. Not as large of a scale as what's happening today, but they had closed down. And so I was telling them I wouldn't do that because you don't know what's going to happen. Well, ironically, I talked to them just about 2 weeks ago, and they told me, I says, well, how's it going? Did you buy those properties? What are you doing? They said, yeah, we bought the 4 rental properties. It was going great for a little while. But then, all at once, when this virus took over and all the people were panicked, the Canadians were leaving the country, and so their whole market dropped out, completely dropped out. They don't have any business going on, and they're really relying on that income. So they said they can't even sell the property, even if they wanted to. There's no sales going on. So they're really, sweating it out. They're really scared on what's going to happen here. We had a time here for about 30 years, up until this year, that it was the Shangri-La. We had experienced this part of Mexico as being very laid back, a lot of activities, a lot of social stuff, and it was great. And that's what I call the period of the Shangri-La period. Luckily, we were able to experience that time and be able to enjoy the growth of that. But I don't see that going forward because people are going to be a little bit scared about coming down or just in general traveling. And remember, with the depression going on up north, the people are not going to have the money to spend down here. So we're not going to see that. There's going to be much more of a slowing down. Yes, the restaurants will start to open up eventually, and things will get back to a new normal. But it's not going to be the same way that you maybe have experienced it in the past, or you've watched some of our videos and we showed you about, meeting with people and going to parties and dances and all this other stuff. It's probably going to come back a little bit, but it's not going to have that time that it was like, a few years ago, or even as early as last year. So this is one of the things that we're expats that are living here, we're sort of looking at it like that. And so we're just going to see that things are probably going to slow down quite a bit. In that regard, about snowbirds that have a home down here and they'd like to come down, and you know that you're going to be quarantining yourself in your own home, and that quarantine period could be up to 6 months. Wearing the mask, wearing the gloves, washing your hand sanitizers and stuff like that. That's what the new norm is. And I don't know how long that's going to last, but I have a feeling that people are going to be a little more reluctant on getting together in restaurants and bars and sit real close together. Again, if you live up north and you live, more of a metropolitan area, then you feel a little more connected with that. Us down here, because of our ages, we're a little more reluctant on getting the virus because we would die, that's the thing. And we really want to be careful about that. So I have a feeling that we're not going to be socializing like we used to do. We'll know our friends, maybe new friends coming in. We may stand back from them a little bit. I hate to say that, but we don't know what their situation is. Maybe after they've been here 2 or 3 months and we see they're okay, then maybe they would be, invited to participate in some of the activities that we have with our friends. So we're from a school of thought is that be careful, be cautious, and hopefully it will come back. And I know at some point it will come back. They'll come up with a virus, antidote, they'll come up with a pill, a shot, something to take that we can counteract this virus. Right now, who knows? Because nobody knows, the scientists don't know. If you ask me, Jerry, would you recommend coming down? Well, if you're in that 60-year-old and older, and you can't drive, you can fly down here. Well, let me put it this way. We're not making any plans to leave our safe environment here. We have it all set up in our house. We have a routine set up. We're not going to take the chance that other people out there aren't taking the precautions they need to take. So we're holding back on making any travel plans for at least 1 year. And we want to see, again, if there's some type of an antidote for this virus. So that's what we're doing. So when you would ask me, do you think it'd be okay to come down here? I wouldn't do it because it's not that safe in general. And again, this is only my opinion. That's all it is. There's no based on facts because we don't have the facts. Most of us are all just talking what we want to have happen and everything else. So I wouldn't take the chance at my age to do that. If I was 40 and the mind of a 40-year-old, I'd probably think that I'm going to live forever and my immune system is the best thing that everybody has. I'd probably go for it at 40. But again, you have to remember, even if you come down at whatever age and you're not familiar with the area, it's going to be difficult to get established because you don't know where all the services are, like essential services. And with real estate offices closed, you can't get rentals. If you don't have a car, you have to take the public transportation. That all becomes a issue because you're getting around all of stuff that's dirty. You're commingling with people on the bus. A lot of them aren't wearing masks. They're not as cautious as, let's say, the foreigners that are down here. So I would be a little reluctant even in that situation because what's a year? What's a year? Wait a year. Be safe. Why get sick? Why get so sick that maybe you even die from it? And so that's the position I'm taking is it's not worth it to me. Stay where you're at. If you have a situation that you're comfortable in and you're used to a routine now, stay with the routine because that's going to be your safest bet. Well, that's my little wrap up. And I hope that this has informed you on what's happening down here and make you, be aware of how severe this is. And this is not something you take lightly. And so everybody is doing their best, but and that's all we can do is be safe and do the right things, protect yourself, protect other people, and then we'll get through all of this as quickly as possible. Hey, thanks for viewing. And hey, how about doing me a favor? Could you give me a thumbs up and a like on the YouTube? We would appreciate that. Thank you very much.